Okay, I'm going to walk through exactly what you're going to do to collect your hair sample for the HTMA test. Okay, I know this is a little bit odd collecting hair. We're not used to doing this. Promise it's simpler and painless than it sounds. So, key here is we want to get the most accurate results possible, right? We want to be picking up the minerals that are actually in the hair, not what's on the hair. So, considerations of if you color your hair, products, we just want to minimize any of that showing up in the results. Okay. So we want to be conscious of timing. If you have had your hair colored more recently, like in the last couple of weeks, it's best to wait a minimum of 3 weeks after a coloring treatment. Ideally a little bit longer, but even after 3 weeks, because we're getting the hair closest to the scalp. You want your sample to be the 1.5 inches closest to the scalp, and you're going to cut off any excess. So the other thing with hair treatments, I usually tell people getting you're going for the hair that is in the back of the scalp. So for women, I just like I'm doing right now, I tell people to put their hair half up with a clip like this so that you can get that hair in the middle of the back of the scalp from 3, 4, 5 different spots. So you're just taking a small amount and it won't be noticeable at all. You're really getting a small amount of hair. I know when it's being cut, it can feel like a lot, but you're just going to get a small amount from those few different spots. That also helps ensure better accuracy of results. And again, you're going to cut off anything excess. My hair is quite long right now, so I would be cutting off quite a bit of excess of that 1.5 inches from the scalp. That's going to give us the last 3 to 4 months of your mineral status, okay? And then you're going to use this purple little piece of cardstock that came in your test envelope. And this is actually a little scale. So as you cut the hair, you cut off the excess, you have that 1.5 inches. You're going to add it to this box. You'll see a little box, and actually first you'll fold down the sides to pop it up. That creates a little scale. You'll add it here. I think I said this, it ends up being about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of hair. And as it gets to the weight of the sample that is needed, this will tip. And that's how you'll know. And then you'll just slide it into this little envelope, complete. You want to add the shampoo that you're using here, and then also on the form that came in your envelope. You're going to want to complete this, including over here on the right-hand side. There's a spot to indicate the type of sample. Most typically it's scalp hair, but there are cases where there is not enough scalp hair. And in that case, you can use pubic hair, you can use hair from the face, you can use armpit hair. It just needs to be noted. The lab needs to know and I need to know because it will affect interpretation of the test results. Also over here, shampoo and any products. There are certain shampoos, products that have minerals in them, and that will affect the results. Particularly anti-dandruff shampoos, you'll see in the instructions sheet that you do want to discontinue using those because they have a high amount of zinc and selenium, and that will affect the result, okay? So again, we're just going for that most accurate. Anything that can get in the way, we want to take out. So if you do use those, just switching to a more minimal shampoo, yeah, just a clean minimal shampoo and avoiding like any additional product before you collect the sample just to get that, okay? You'll complete the rest of the form all the way down to most predominant symptoms. There's a checklist here. And then the bottom section I will complete, so you don't need to worry about that, just to the symptoms. Then you're going to pack everything up into this little envelope, add a stamp, return address. Because this will be going standard mail, it is a good idea to take it to the post office personally and get tracking on it. That way you can keep an eye on it. You just never know these days, and you want to make sure you just don't want to have to do this twice, right? So you want to make sure that it's going to get where it needs to go. So that's always a good idea. There's a few other considerations. I encourage you, make sure you read the instructions document. Again, also toward going to just wanting to get most accurate results, there are some considerations if you live in an area that does have hard water, if your home has a water softener, that will affect the calcium on the test. So there is an instruction in there just to rinse your hair with distilled water before collecting the sample. You can also look that up online very easily. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with any part of this process. So that should be everything. Again, I encourage you to read the instructions. And yeah, can't wait to get our results and dig in.